Hi everybody, it is Thursday, so I have my tiara on for Tiara Thursdays to read our story. I also have next to me my friend over here, Mike Trout, because it should be baseball season, and as I always tell you guys, my boys all play baseball and we love baseball. So we're sad that it's not baseball season, but I hope you guys get outside and get some fresh activity, throw a ball maybe with your parents. But today I'm going to read you my story, The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. Now this is a story about the wolf's perspective as to what really went down that day. We've read both stories. We've read The Three Little Pigs, we read The Three Little Javelinas, and now we're reading the story of the Three Little Pigs. And we'll see what the wolf thinks happens, because he thinks this is a whole different story. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story, because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of your diet. Hey, it's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think we were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing, it's all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Do you believe him? We'll see. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. Makes sense. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either, but he had built the whole house out of straw. I mean, can you believe it? Who would make a house out of straw, right? We know that's not straw. So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, you in there? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar from my dear old granny's birthday cake, but that's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on, and I huffed, and I puffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. Oh boy. And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. I'm telling you, he had been home the entire time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate him. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next door neighbor's house. The neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, not much. He had built the house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, you in there? He yelled back, go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs of my chinny chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. You're not gonna believe this. This guy's house fell down, just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. This isn't going well. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing that there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old Granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family because he built his house out of bricks, and we know that that is strong. I knocked on the brick's house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in there? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here. Wolf, don't bother me again. Can you believe it? Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me one little cup. For my dear old sweet Granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on again. And I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Well, that's not very nice. Now, I'm usually a calm fella, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing, and I was making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The newspapers found out about the 2 pigs that I ate for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all that huffing and puffing and blow your house down kind of stuff. And they made me into the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. Do you believe them? But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. So that is the wolf's version of what happened with the 3 little pigs. I'm not sure if I believe it. Do you?